to instigate drama, to create conflict, to have these little sarcastic jabs at people, or take everything as criticism. So that's the level of truth and intimacy. Well, the level of honesty and integrity that you can develop with your body, that am I really comfortable being in this body that I'm in?
Fascinating. And that you do somatic work as well, right? Talk to me a little bit about that and how that plays in here. You're talking like, the body holding trauma, which I know is what a big part of that somatic work is.
Yeah. I've discovered it through my own body that if some parts of me are not fully relaxed, I'm going to project it, and my mind is going to create stories out of it, and I'm going to justify it that, oh, I'm doing this because he looked at me that way, or he made that comment, or whatever. But all of it is actually coming from me not feeling safe, heard, seen, respected, not feeling loved, not knowing how to accept love. When I'm in the presence of love, I don't feel worthy of it. So all that is like raw data stored in your muscle memory. A lot of I look at time in a parallel sense. So when people say past lives or future lives, I look at it from a more morphogenetic point of view, where all time exists at the same place at the same time. So your selves, your parallel selves, are communicating with each other through just a different angular rotation of particles, just different big physics terms. And so it might be that your muscle memory through your DNA template is bringing information from lives that you don't even remember, but your body is carrying something from your genetic line. I have a friend whose father worked in the army. He was kind of dragged into a Nazi Germany youth army. And he says that he is ridiculously afraid that he is going to hurt women because he just has that killer gene in him. So the same way as animals can inherit certain characteristics or traits from their ancestors, we are inheriting memories, information genetically through our DNA that you might not have the explanation for. So you're just characterizing yourself. You've given yourself a character description, and your mind, your body creates situations where you get to play yourself out for that character, where you get to experience yourself as that role. So if somewhere deep down inside your body believes that you are angry, that you're sad, that you're lonely, abandoned, mistreated, you always give more and never get enough, you can never find the right matching partner, there's always some miscommunication, there's always drama, then they might come from periods that you don't even remember. Or what I'm looking at now really, really heavily is birth trauma and prenatal trauma, because if you were born in a hospital setting, especially in the US, then you were born through very inhumane practices that are normalized and neutralized in big pharma. But my God, they are terrifying to little baby bodies.
And more women die in the U.S. in childbirth than in any other country as well.
Yeah. And
it's really rough on the female body too.
Yes. And they can cause all sorts of... Right now I have a client who's had a C-section, and I just told her she just had a baby. I think it was 9 months ago or 8 months ago, something like that. And she still has some postnatal depression. And I said to her that how a C-section affects the body is that you are not able to naturally produce bonding hormones because the natural process is interrupted. So your body is missing out on the oxytocin release that gets released when your body actually pushes that baby out through the natural pathways. So physiologically, your body believes that that baby has never been born. You lost a baby. And that causes the depression, that causes the grieving process. So even down to that level, and if you look at the consciousness of a baby body or a cellular body, you went through near-death experiences so many times by the time you were born that it's a miracle that we even remember how to love, that we even want to connect with each other, that we even still have this internal inclination to be close to each other, because our own parents and the humans out there have hurt us so many times by day one that it's fascinating that, to me, it's fascinating that releasing that trauma, even remembering that trauma, or bringing up the emotional memory of it. You don't have to remember the situation itself, but just bringing up the emotional memory of it. Like if you have a pattern of never finding home, never feeling like you have a home, always constantly moving from place to place, or feeling like you always have to do everything all by yourself, you're not supported, you're not safe, or that you're actively rejected, you always live in toxic environments or hostile environments, those can all be retraced to prenatal and birth trauma, where at different parts of the chemical process were somehow interrupted, or your mother had the slightest thought that she might not want to have a baby, so she chemically made her womb into a hostile environment and did not allow you to fully feel at home in her body. It's that level of depth. And I'm still at an early stage of discovering just how much the body is storing in information. And it's beautiful for me that, when I wanted to be a filmmaker, it was all about the mind. It was all about stories. It was all about fantasy. And I've realized that in my private life, I've actually been a much more tactile person. And I'm a kinesthetic communicator. I do everything. I talk through my body. I exist through my body. And I found real peace and purpose in switching everything around and not chasing something that my mind wanted to do, but actually discovering that my body actually feels really traumatized, and I will probably not be happy or satisfied with any achievement until my body says that I feel at peace, I feel safe, I feel okay. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm still in the middle of it. I'm still clearing my own stuff out.